Okay, I'm back with international pricing. We talked a lot about international pricing, one of the four P's of the marketing mix. With international pricing, a firm can either adapt their price or they can use the same price and just base it on PPP or purchasing power parity, which means that, a dollar in the United States might equate to 25 cents in Russia because of, the income levels of the people. Middle class here, I think, is right around 60 to $70,000. Middle class in China is anywhere between 15 and $20,000. So you would base it on PPP, based on what the income levels. Um, Different factors affect international pricing. Um, how you go to market, how you distribute it, your cost to produce, all of those types of things. Remember, if you're selling at PPP and it is below your cost, then you can't go into that market. So you've got to make sure that you understand that as you move forward. So the nature of the market affects international pricing, the nature of the industry, competition in the industry, whether there's a lot of competition, a little bit of competition, your brand recognition, your brand name, all those types of things, types of distribution systems. There's so many things. And what a manager has to do is has to decide, really, do I want a cost plus pricing, rigid, like the first one there, where my cost is this, I'm going to sell it this plus 40%. And I'm going to sell it this plus 40% in every single one of the countries. Obviously, oftentimes that doesn't work because of purchasing power parity, or you're leaving some money on the table. You can get more pricing for it. You've got flexible cost plus pricing, which most people will do, which says, all right, my costs are $5. I'm going to sell it $5 plus 40% in this market, $5 plus 60% in this market, $5 plus 100% in this market, based on PPP, based on income levels, based on how strong my brand is, based on competition. So most people take a flexible cost plus pricing. And then finally, the incremental pricing, which is set only to cover variable costs, not fixed costs. Very rarely is that done because oftentimes you're losing money. And as a marketing person will tell you, you can't sell it below your costs and make it up on volume. Losing money is still losing money. So strategies for dealing with varying currency conditions. I'll let you read this. This is a really good slide in the fact that it will really kind of explain to you what a marketing manager goes to. I'm not gonna read the slide to you. Obviously, you guys can read, but it kind of explains what a marketing manager goes through when they take a look at pricing. Let me get out of your way here so you can read it. Um, and that's one of the toughest thing. I've said this before. I said it in marketing principles. We don't deal with it a lot in my promotions management class, but I've talked about it in my marketing strategy class, that pricing is one of the toughest thing that a product manager has to, or a marketing manager has to deal with. If you price your product too high, no one will buy it. If you price it too low, you're leaving money on the table and you're not making as much money as you can. Pricing is also the easiest lever to increase sales. You want to increase sales, you have a special, you have a deal. But you lose money, you lose profitability when you do those types of things. So there is a sweet spot with regards to pricing, and it is very difficult. And believe me, I lived it for 30 years. It is very difficult for a marketing manager, A, to maintain pricing integrity, and to hit that sweet spot. Let's see. So transfer pricing is the pricing intermediaries of finished goods exchange among the subsidiaries. So in other words, if you're making something in Spain, if you're manufacturing in Spain, you use transfer pricing, not market pricing, but you use transfer pricing to sell it to subsidiaries, say in Germany or in Italy. Lots of companies do that. because they want to repatriate products from one countries to another. They want to take profits from higher corporate tax countries to another. And so they play these types of games, and it's all very legal. You're allowed to do that. One thing it's not illegal though is you can't dump. You can't use a price and take your price and sell it um, below your costs in different countries in order to put people out of business and then raise your price later. So with transfer pricing, the international laws and countries look at that to make sure that that's not happening, um, because they don't want to put their local firms out of business. Oftentimes, though, that's exactly what happens. International advertising. Advertising has changed significantly since this book was published. There's not so as much TV advertising as there was before, although TV advertising is still growing. But people are spending a lot of time with streaming TVs, with streaming services, with mobile marketing and that type of thing. But what you have to do is you have to look at how are you going to advertise in different countries? What's the literacy rate in different countries? How many have TVs? Most everybody in different countries have a mobile phone. So obviously it's very inexpensive to roll creatives on mobile platforms. So oftentimes people use a mobile marketing type of strategy. There is some media characteristics in selected countries. Take that with a grain of salt. Um, Newspapers, a lot of times it's posters, a lot of times it's advertising on buses, a lot of public transportation in some of your Eastern European and your Asian countries. So a lot of advertising on public transportation. I know if you're ever in London, the tube is very popular, and you see all types of advertising on the tube. It's amazing. The tube is really clean. It's not like the subway in New York City. It seems to be a lot cleaner. At least it was, and that was my impression. And a lot of advertising in the tube, a lot of advertising on billboards and that type of thing in downtown London. International distribution, depending on your product, you're going to pick a distribution method. Are you going to export? Are you going to have FDI? How are you going to do it? Depends on the weight of your product and the price of your product. I continue to use the example of Xerox. When I was the worldwide marketing VP of Xerox Engineering Systems, all the media products, obviously I couldn't export paper. Paper is cheap and very, very heavy. So I had to manufacture it in all the different countries that I wanted to sell it in. So my manufacturing plants couldn't be very far from a distance to my target market because it was so expensive to ship. So international distribution is going to be very, very, very very flexible, really, based on your product, who you're selling it to, and why you're selling it to them. That is going to do it for international marketing. International marketing is a really cool topic, but this is not an international marketing class. We do offer an international marketing class, which I suggest all you marketing managers take, or marketing majors take. For the rest of you, this is it. Good luck on the final, and if anybody needs me, you certainly can call me, text me, or send me an email.